Tonight, I'm going to tell you a true story that begins on Christmas Eve and becomes one of the most disturbing and unexplainable disappearances in American history. A family home burned to the ground. 5 children were declared dead, but the evidence never matched the conclusion. And for decades, their parents believed one thing very clearly: their children did not die in that fire. This is the story of the Sodder children. It's December 24th, 1945, in the small coal mining town of Fayetteville, West Virginia, a place where the roads are narrow, the houses sit close together, and the nights are so quiet you can hear the wind moving through the hills. Inside one of those houses lives the Sodder family. George and Jennie Sodder are home with 9 of their 10 children, gathered under the same roof as they prepare for Christmas morning. The world outside has only recently begun to heal. The Great Depression is over. World War II has ended. For years, hardship and uncertainty have been constant companions. But tonight, for once, they feel distant. The Sodder home is modest, 2 stories, wooden floors that creak when you walk across them, furniture worn smooth from years of use. There's nothing fancy here, nothing extravagant, but it's full of noise, full of movement, full of life. The children crowd the living room, their faces lit by the soft glow of the Christmas lights and the fire burning in the hearth. The gifts beneath the tree are few and mostly handmade, carefully wrapped, imperfect, and precious. The kids don't care. They're buzzing with excitement, talking over one another, arguing about who's been the most well-behaved, whispering theories about what Santa might bring. Laughter fills the house. Shoes are kicked off. Coats are draped over chairs. It's the kind of ordinary happiness that feels so safe you never think to hold on to it. Outside, Fayetteville has gone to sleep. The streets are empty. The mines are silent. Cold air hangs heavy in the darkness, and not a single light moves through the town. The night is still, almost unnaturally so. But inside the Sodder home, none of that matters. Inside, the world feels small and warm, predictable, normal. And in moments like this, no one ever imagines how fragile that feeling truly is. George, originally from Italy, runs a successful trucking business. Jennie is preparing for bed. Their older sons, John and George Jr., stay downstairs with their father, but 5 of the children head upstairs to sleep. Maurice, 14 years old, Martha, 12, Louis, 9, Jennie, 8, Betty, 5. Jennie reminds them to lock the doors and turn off the lights. The house goes quiet. They fall asleep, and for the last time, everything in that home is still normal. At 12:30 in the morning, the sudden ring of the telephone cuts through the quiet house. Jennie jolts awake. It takes her a second to understand what she's hearing, because the phone almost never rings at night. Not here, not in Fayetteville, and certainly not on Christmas Eve. For a brief moment, she just lies there, staring into the darkness, listening as the ringing continues, sharp, insistent, completely out of place. She reaches for the receiver. The line clicks open, and immediately, Jennie knows something is off. A woman is speaking on the other end. Her voice is unfamiliar, slightly slurred, almost careless. She asks for someone by name, a name Jennie has never heard before. Jennie hesitates, trying to place it, but nothing comes to mind. And then she notices something else. Behind the woman's voice, faint but unmistakable, is laughter. Not a single person, multiple voices, overlapping. The kind of background noise you'd hear at a gathering or a party, people talking, laughing, moving around in the same room. It doesn't sound threatening exactly, but it doesn't sound right either. Jennie tightens her grip on the phone. She tells the woman she has the wrong number. There's a pause, just long enough to feel uncomfortable. Then the woman begins to laugh, slowly, deliberately. Before Jennie can say anything else, the line goes dead. She lowers the receiver, standing there in the darkness, the quiet rushing back in around her. For a moment, she considers waking George, but it's late. It's Christmas Eve, and eventually, she tells herself what anyone would. She places the phone back on its cradle and lies down, staring at the ceiling, waiting for her heartbeat to slow. And then a sound, a loud, heavy thud from above. Something has struck the roof. She listens as whatever it is rolls across the roof, then stops, and that's when she smells it. A sharp, bitter odor drifting through the air. Smoke. Jennie leaps out of bed and wrenches open the bedroom door, and the heat slams into her like a wall. It isn't just hot, it's suffocating. Scalding air floods the hallway, directly in front of her, cutting off the only way upstairs. The staircase is already consumed. George is awake now too. He's out of bed in seconds, coughing, shouting, reaching for the phone. His hands shake as he dials the fire department. No ringing, no operator. He slams the receiver down and tries again. Still nothing. The line is dead. Inside the house, 5 children are trapped. Jennie is screaming their names, her voice raw and desperate, calling into the fire even though she knows they can't hear her through the roar of the flames. The heat grows more intense with every second. The fire cracks and howls, feeding on the wooden structure like it's alive. Windows shatter one by one, exploding outward into the yard. Sparks shoot into the night sky. The roof begins to sag, groaning under its own weight, and then it collapses. In less than 45 minutes, the Sodder family home, once warm, loud, and full of life, is reduced to a pile of burning rubble. 5 children are gone, and when Christmas morning arrives in Fayetteville, West Virginia, it arrives without joy. The fire department doesn't arrive until 8 a.m., 7 hours late. By then, there is nothing left to save. The official explanation is chaos. They claim the driver got lost. The fire chief had been recently dismissed. Someone had to be located and woken up to respond. But George and Jennie don't care about excuses. They only care about their children. The fire chief eventually declares that the 5 children perished in the flames. But when George and Jennie search the ashes, they find something that makes no sense. There are no bodies, no bones, no skulls, not even fragments. And George knows something important. He has worked around extreme heat in his life. Even in catastrophic house fires, bones are almost always found. The human body does not simply disappear. But 5 children left absolutely nothing behind. It is as if they were never in the house at all. In the days that follow, witnesses come forward with accounts that change the entire story. A neighbor claims they saw balls of fire being thrown onto the Sodder house that night, right before the flames erupted. A woman claims she saw 5 children peering out from a passing car as the house burned. When investigators search the debris again, they find a strange rubbery object. It is identified later as part of an incendiary device, a firebomb, and if someone had purposely burned the house, that meant someone had a reason. As the shock fades, George's mind turns against him, replaying moments he once dismissed. A few months before the fire, a stranger came to the house selling life insurance. When George refused, the man's friendliness vanished. His face hardened, his voice turned cruel. He pointed at the house and warned, "It will burn. Your children will be destroyed." George had brushed it off. Now, standing in the ashes, those words won't leave him. Then he remembers another man, quiet, unfamiliar, seen lingering near the school, watching children walk home, watching the Sodder kids. Neighbors noticed. No one acted, and beneath it all, something darker. George had been outspoken against Mussolini and Italian fascism, even in a town where some still supported the regime. Arguments, tension, resentment. Now the memories line up, and the timing no longer feels like chance. The Sodders bring their theory to the authorities. They're dismissed. In 1945, kidnapping sounds like fantasy, not fact. Officials cling to the original conclusion. 5 children died in the fire. Case closed. But George and Jennie refused to let it end there. They launched their own search, hiring private investigators, chasing leads across the country, questioning strangers, following rumors that go nowhere. And then they do something that ensures the story won't fade. They erect a massive billboard along Route 16, photos of the missing children, a reward, a single question. For years, drivers pass beneath it. What was their fate? And the question never goes away. Years blur into decades. Most people move on. Most people stop believing. Jennie never does. She wears black for the rest of her life. Every Christmas reopens the wound. Every birthday that never comes cuts deeper. Then, one day, a letter arrives. Inside is a photograph of a young man in his 20s, dark hair, strong nose, deep-set eyes. He looks eerily like George. On the back, a message. Louis Sodder, I love brother Frankie. Ill boys. Louis was 9 when he vanished. If he were alive, this is exactly the age he would be. The family traces the letter to Kentucky. The sender is never found. The trail goes cold. But the photo changes everything. It gives Jennie hope that her son may still be out there, living a life he doesn't remember or isn't allowed to reveal. Some theorize the children were sold. Others think they were taken by people holding a grudge against George. Some believe the Italian mafia or a fascist group kidnapped them to send a message. Others believe it may have been a twisted act of mercy, removing children from poverty and raising them elsewhere. And perhaps the most haunting theory of all, that at least one of the Sodder children remembered who they were, but was too afraid to come home. George dies in 1969 without answers. Jennie searches until her death in 1989. 2 lives spent waiting, hoping, never knowing. The billboard eventually comes down. The road keeps moving, but the mystery doesn't. No confirmed remains have ever been found. No identities verified. No confessions made. Just ash, faded photographs, and a question that still burns nearly 80 years later. What really happened to the Sodder children on Christmas night, 1945? Did they die? Or did they grow up somewhere else under different names, living lives they were never meant to have? And if one of them is still out there, do they remember the fire, the laughter, and the family they left behind? If you were in George and Jennie's place, would you accept the official story, or would you spend your entire life believing what they believed? That the truth wasn't buried in the ashes, but hidden somewhere in the world, still breathing, still waiting. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one.